Hello, my name's Stephen Fry, and I'm here to talk to you about Mr. Bolsonaro. Now, you may think, what place has an Englishman to talk about Brazilian politics? And you'd be quite right. It's none of my business to tell you how to vote. But I've been watching his steady rise in Brazilian politics with some alarm. I have met him, I interviewed him. The interview is available for you to see on YouTube if you'd like. And I have to say, as I did at the time, it was one of the most chilling confrontations I ever had with a human being. I really felt I was looking into some very dead and frightening eyes indeed. What the camera didn't show was his cadre, his group of, I don't know, protection bodyguards. They were frightening enough. He lives in a fantasy world of militarism, which I find deeply upsetting and frightening. And I suppose, far from telling you how to vote, which is none of my business, I'd be the first to admit, I would ask you to speculate on what you think it means to be Brazilian. I know, as someone who loves the country and has visited it many times, what I think Brazil means. It means colour, richness, diversity, astonishing friendliness, warmth, and yes, unquestionably crime and drugs and violence and all kinds of very frightening and terrifying side effects of so many people living together in a mixture of poverty and extreme riches as well. I'm not saying it's a perfect society, and no Brazilian would ever argue it was. But I would say that the Brazilian spirit is one of inclusion, acceptance, love, and sheer pleasure in variety. Think of the music, the mixture it has of the races that make up the Brazilian people. And think of the food. Think of all the art and the culture and the excitement and the parades and so on. They all speak to a wonderful mixture. What they don't suggest for a second is this mad nostalgia, this strange Trumpian belief that there is one Brazilian race, one ethnicity, one political and religious Brazil. I mean, does he want to be the Emperor Maximilian? I don't understand really where he comes from. It seems to be a very dark, frightening and incredibly ignorant place. If the world is to be happier, it won't be by going backwards. It never has been, and it never will be. And the talk he gives, the speech he uses against people of colour, women, and of course the LGBTQ community in particular, is genuinely terrifying and will result in more broken heads on pavements, more blood spilt, more torture, more killing, more unhappiness, less acceptance, more crying parents. That can't be right. Surely Brazil is better than that. Brazil is better than Bolsonaro. That is my view. Take it just from someone who loves your country. That's all I have to say. Much love. Bye-bye.